Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Sand Podcast with your host, Sandy and Express. Now, in today's episode, I just wanted to talk about why I took a 3-month hiatus from my content creation, and I wanted to talk about what I'm going to do later on, or for this podcast, future projects. So let's get right into it. Now, before I actually get into it, I know everybody's going to ask, why do I sound sick? I have COVID, okay? I'm fine. It's all fine. I'm isolated. You don't have to worry. I am better now. It was really bad early on, but I am recovering. So, yeah, I have COVID right now. I should be fine in a couple more days. I'll be good as new. But yeah, I'll be fine. But yeah, COVID's a bitch. Anyway, let's get to the first main real question. Why did I take a 3-month hiatus from content creation? Well, the long answer is that I was working at a summer camp called Philmont Scout Ranch, and calling it a summer camp is a little bit of a lowball because it's a high adventure camp. Now, you may be asking, what is Philmont? Well, Philmont Scout Ranch is it's a scout. It's like a high adventure camp, base camp, not base, but it's a high adventure camp that's located in New Mexico. And yeah, I went to New Mexico just to help serve some people some food, which is what I did when I was there. And I stayed there for 2.5 to 3 months. So that's why, if you were wondering why I didn't post a lot on this shit on the channel and why I didn't get on my podcast on time, it's because I was working there at Philmont. Now, a lot of people might be asking, how is Philmont? It was a really good experience. I loved it. I made new friends. I still have all their contacts, I met a lot of great people at Philmont. It was a really amazing place to work at, But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, Philmont was really good. Sorry, I was drinking some water. But there was a lot of people there, and a lot of crazy people. Yeah, there was crazy people, and a lot of crazy stories. Because I worked at food service, and if anybody who has worked in the food service industry, you know that there's going to be some some goofy shenanigans, not nasty shenanigans, goofy shenanigans there. You know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah, I have stories about some goofy stories. I have some really good stories. And yeah, that's pretty much it was working there was really, really good. I loved it. Now, why did you go to New Mexico? Well, it was a beautiful place, and I really wanted to visit northern New Mexico, okay? Northern New Mexico, for those of you who haven't been there, it's kind of like you're going basically on the southern range of the Rocky Mountains, and it's the most beautiful part of New Mexico, seriously. It's not as impressive as going to Colorado and seeing the Rockies over there, but it's a really, really beautiful place, and I hope y'all go there because there's a lot of good stuff there in northern New Mexico. But yeah, speaking about that, I did actually have to fly, and then basically to get there, I flew basically from Houston all the way to Dallas, or not Dallas, to Albuquerque, sorry. No, I wasn't at Albuquerque to sell meth, okay? I wasn't at Los Pollos Hermanos. Well, for the first reason is because I'm vegetarian, and 2, I don't do meth. I don't be look, man, I'm not All right, you know all the Breaking Bad references, okay? I'm not doing all the Breaking Bad jokes here, okay? But yeah, I actually flew to Albuquerque, and from Albuquerque to a small town in northern New Mexico called Raton, I took an Amtrak train between there, and holy shit, it is one of the best train rides you can ever take. If you ever want to take like a 4-hour train ride, and you want to like basically like, you know, experience train riding, please take the journey from Albuquerque to Raton, because it is a lot of beautiful scenery that you've never seen in your life. I've never seen a lot of changing biomes in my life, and that was the first time I saw like different biomes, and it was amazing. So if you ever wanted to take a train journey about that, please do it, okay? But yeah, that's basically why I took a 3-month hiatus. It's mainly because A, I wanted to work at Philmont, and B, I wanted to ride, while I was getting there, I wanted to ride a train. And as like an adult, as a child, I love trains, and like that whole like passion for like being on trains kind of translated into like a passion of like having a nice comfort as an adult. But yeah, it was really, really nice. But yeah, those were the two main reasons. What am I going to do now? The second question, or the second to final question, is what am I going to do? Like, what are my future projects on this podcast? Well, mainly, I'm thinking to basically... Look, man, I don't know. I really, at this point, like... I haven't figured out what I'm doing. I am like thinking about doing a project about like basically like a podcast project. Okay, I'm gonna use project, whatever. Project about like comparing the internet to the printing press, and how like dissemination of information is pretty much very similar in these two mediums. Seriously, like if you look up the similarities between the two, you'll realize how much they've basically influenced society. So that's one thing I'm probably thinking about doing, and that's probably one of my projects but one thing I am doing is I am doing a project about emulation, video game emulation, and the legalities about it, mainly because like I love talking about video game emulation. I emulate games myself, and yeah, I basically wanted to talk about that, and I never got to do it. And I have other projects regarding not regarding podcast stuff, but like video related stuff. Like I have like a second channel on my YouTube page. It's called what's it called? I forget what it's called. Yeah, it's called The Sand Show. So please subscribe to that channel. That's going to be like my main channel moving forward. Because Sandy Express was more of like an experimental channel. Like that YouTube channel was like more of an experimental thing. And then the Sand Show channel, which is the name of the channel, by the way, is called The Sand Show. That's going to be where I'm going to basically post everything that I make. So please check that channel out. Please comment, subscribe on that channel if you'd like, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much like what I'm doing. I'm posting a lot of my new projects on my second channel, and those projects are maybe internet printing press related project, emulation project, because I want to talk about emulation so much. I've never gotten to talk about it, and it's not coming to my head, and I forgot. And maybe like talking about like my journey series, which is like my first series video on that on the Sand Show channel. So please check that out. So yeah, pretty much that's all. It covers everything, I think, and yeah. So if you've enjoyed my explanations about all of what I'm going to do, thank you for listening to the podcast, and I hope you all have a nice day. See ya.